Hello, FAR members. Welcome to another edition of Locked In with Kim. I am very pleased to be joined today by Patty Osborne with Regarday. For some of you, he's going to be a familiar face. He was a realtor and is a licensee still, and was a FAR board member. So, Patty, thank you so much for joining us today. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well, Kim. Thank you, and thanks for allowing me to join in this morning. And before we continue, aside from the awful lot of people out there need to be thanked, but you guys at FAR need to be thanked as well for holding everything together and once again, sort of turning on a dime and adapting to what's going on here and keeping things moving along.
I think like a lot of people feel we didn't really have a choice, right? Business must go on. Our members are still selling houses and we still want to be here to support everybody.
There is that.
I feel like at some point, maybe I'll need you to come photograph my house because pretty soon wave the white flag and I'm moving to like Montana or something. I'm in a subsistence farm in Montana.
You know where to find us. We'll be ready.
So tell us a little bit about what your business does.
Okay. Well, our business, for those of anybody out there who doesn't know about us, the company's name is Regarday. We've been in operation now for just over 4 years. We do basically high-end, high-resolution still photography of homes for sale. We do commercial, restaurant as well sometimes, but our main focus is resale homes and a lot of new construction as well. By the way, we do for a lot of builders out there as well. We also provide, which has really come to the forefront with the current situation, the 3D virtual tours, the Matterport 3D virtual tours. As you know, most of the home sales going on out there right now, people are very, very keen to view remotely as much as possible. I've seen a lot of realtors, to their credit, out there with their cell phones doing virtual guided tours just on using the video on their phone and posting them to Facebook, which is fantastic. I've actually seen a couple of YouTube channels set up where people are basically they're collating video tours of homes for sale out there. So they're all a one-stop shop for buyers, which fantastic. Hats off to those guys doing that as well. But like I say, we're providing the 3D virtual tours, which can be posted up onto obviously the Bright MLS system as well. They can be put out on Facebook, email, text, so on and so forth. So we found it's just a really nice, easy tool. It's not obviously a 100% substitute for a buyer being in the home, but it's pretty damn close for anybody who hasn't seen one. We're also lucky enough to have, we actually have 2 Matterport cameras at our disposal in the company. So we've been able to ramp up and kind of cope with the demand that we've seen for it lately as well.
So that's a great segue to my next question. How has your business changed, if at all, during this time of restrictions and COVID-19 stuff?
No, the way we operate honestly hasn't changed a great deal. We're following the same precautions as everybody else does, which is the social distancing. My poor hands have been washed and washed and washed again. And as I tell myself and everybody else I get to talk to, if you think you're washing your hands too much, wash your hands.
Right.
Basically, in other words, you can't wash your hands enough.
Right, exactly.
But basically, like those things, and we've found as well, if anything, the current situation and maybe nervousness and social distancing has come to our advantage. Obviously, when we're in a home shooting stills and the 3D virtual tour, our 3D tour cameras, the best way I can always describe them to anybody who we're shooting for is it's like radar. When the camera's in a room, it's scanning 360 in a circle and up and down 180 degrees. So it sees everything in every direction. So we've always encouraged people to either go out or have as few people around for a shoot as possible. But we've found now that comes across even more, and people are more than willing to leave us to it, which, like I say, is a benefit to us, and we believe, of course, a benefit to them as well. So
we're happy to skedaddle and let you do your work, and
we could, having with quite a lot of experience in shooting homes now, we can have a pretty accurate guesstimate when we see a house and know the square footage. We can tell them roughly how long it's going to take us to shoot. So we can usually give them a very accurate number and say, okay, we're going to be an hour, hour and 15 minutes, hour and a half. and they can disappear and go and have some fun time, or just drive around, or sometimes they just go and sit outside in the minivan and wait for us to do our thing.
Right.
But it's been great. Yeah, people have been very understanding and cooperative. It's been fantastic.
So when this all started, there's obviously so many unknowns and so much fear about what this would do to our market. And so far, I mean, things from the numbers I'm seeing are fairly positive. Is that reflected in your business? How busy are you all? What's your pipeline like?
Our pipeline has always been very variable. Excuse me. During the height of the market, there are some times where we'll see solid bookings as far as 2 or 3 weeks out, and then there are periods of time where we'll maybe see just through the end of the current week. So we never honestly really know what's coming. Of course, our business is very heavily dependent on the listings of our realtors, the realtors, i.e. our customers. But generally speaking, over the last, I suppose, month or so, since this has all really taken a hold, we saw a very slight tap of the brakes, I believe, at the very beginning when the Virginia lockdown was announced. It was almost like somebody, like I say, it wasn't somebody stood on the brakes hard and everything ground to a halt. It's a slight tap of the brakes, I think, where everyone was like, oh, hang on, what's going to happen here? And then it's gradually picked up again. And we're still seeing we've had some very, very busy days, almost to the level that we would normally expect in a spring market. And we see anecdotally our customers out there, they're always very keen, and we love seeing it when they post listings sold in 3 days or listings sold within 24 hours, and multiple offers still coming in. So although there's probably some hesitancy with an awful lot of people out there, in general, I think the market is still fighting fit and doing exceptionally well, all things considered.
Right. So the message for our members is y'all are open for business, you're doing it safely, and people need those virtual tours now more than ever. They need that aerial footage. You've got properties, a horse farm or some beautiful thing at Lake Anna. Call Patty,
Absolutely.
Get Regarday to come out and give you the best possible view and introduction to a property that you can get.
Absolutely, yes. And drone isn't always necessarily reserved for the big multiple acre horse farms. Actually, just yesterday, I was in Leland Station, which I'm sure most people are familiar with. That's like 1/4 to 1/2 acre lots there, most of the houses. And I did some aerial stills for a new listing coming up in there for one of our faithful customers as well. It's just a handy tool to be able to show maybe where the house sits, and if it's on a cul-de-sac, or if it's next to woods, for example, has a lovely swimming pool, deck, backyard. We can show off all those kinds of things from a different perspective with a few aerial shots too. So it's not necessarily always reserved for the big sweeping properties.
Sure. And I'd imagine that we're seeing buyers, they were already heading online to begin with, but now that's even more important. Give those buyers the best perspective on your property, regardless. That's great to hear, because I live on a 10,000 square foot lot, right? My yard is teeny tiny, but we have a beautiful patio out back and lots of landscaping we've worked hard on. So
yeah, you'd certainly want people to know that right off the bat. Exactly.
Well,
yeah.
when I moved to Montana and moved to my cattle farm in Montana, I'll call you.
Absolutely. As long as we get an invite to Montana to come and see the farm as well.
Yes, absolutely. Well, thank you, Patty. I really appreciate your time, and you stay safe out there and keep recording. Our agents will keep sending you listings, and you keep flying that drone and doing what you do. So thank you so much.
Absolutely. Much appreciated, Kim. And thank you, and everybody at FAR as well, for all the great work you're doing.
Thank you.
Take care.